Hello, welcome to this episode of Back to the City. I'm Simon Calder, and joining me today is Rupert Angeleyes. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Simon.
You're very welcome. With us in the studio just now, evidenced by this photograph, was Larry Wish. And the two of you have a double record release, which is going to be at the Eagles on Saturday, April 20th. I did not know that when I scheduled these two interviews, so that was a nice little bit of synchronicity. A little seal of approval from the universe that the various people are on their right tracks, perhaps. I think that the two records, there is an interesting point of contact between them, insofar as my favorite moment in Adams, in the Larry Wish record, he addresses his wife Ivy and says, and the lyric is, "And now I say, Ivy, you are my light and you are my sunshine." And about 2/3 of the way through the record, your record, Pillow Talk, in Palm Springs, that ends with, "Do you need a light?
I'll be your light. Do you need a light?" Yeah.
Which is interesting that the record takes us there in particular, because in the opening track, which we can see the music video for right now, in the light is precisely what we do not want. In that opening track, the chorus is, "I can only talk to you at night. I don't want to see you in the light." In fact, the first two songs, "In the Light" and "Make Out Lately," establish A, I don't want to see you in the light, and B, in the second song, I do want to make out. And then there's two let's phrases. Let us feel no shame in the light. Let's feel no shame. And then in Make Out Lately, let's swim in the pool of your friend's high-rise. It strikes me that swimming in the pool of one's friend's high-rise is an easier thing to do than feeling no shame in a culture where I think there's quite a lot of shame.
Yeah. I think you are so talented at finding thematic correlations from song to song, but with this collection of songs, each one is a vignette of different experiences that I've had. So maybe there's more of a pattern than I can even realize or understand. In the Light, that chorus, "I don't want to see you in the light," that thing.
Yep.
I was just trying to write that song about like when you go out to different parties over and over again, like once a week or something, you know, there's still always that one or two people who are just there all the time. You know, it's like, why are those people always there? It could be like, you know, your second cousin's quinceañera at like 10 p.m. barbecue, and that person's like, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you." It's like, what do they do for? What do they do during the daytime? Like, I only know them in the context of like this very specific thing. Like, do they have a job, or like, do they eat lunch, or like, I don't know, like mysterious people that I only see them at that time.
And in the video, Rupert is a somewhat mysterious nighttime character. I like also that there is the swimming pool. The swimming pool is in the music video for In the Light, and it's on the album cover as well. And in multiple songs, the title of the third track is Chlorine Drifts.
I think of swimming pools often.
Yes, you seem to.
I like to swim.
And I love that Rupert emerges from the swimming pool and then delivers the chorus. And then, "I don't want to see you in the light." The hand is the last thing to disappear.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
see where you're going here. You're right.
Yeah.
I forgot that even in that music video, there's a swimming pool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's literal, the emergence and then becoming submerged in water again. So you like swimming pools, and you think swimming pools are large. Either specifically in that music video, with becoming submerged in the water again, or as swimming pools appear throughout the record as well. I feel like there's a bunch of vignettes that have to do with the swimming pool, and then with the record being called Pillow Talk, in one instance, Rupert and a lover are in bed talking throughout the entire day. Do you have any thoughts about those two motifs or those two scenes?
I believe that those two motifs, when I'm writing, I think that oftentimes I harken back to idyllic memories or times of my life. If I'm going through something like really tough, I think about what are nice things in my life? What is something that I can escape to? Some type of escapism. And predictably, that harkens to going swimming for some reason. Chlorine drifts, I love the smell of chlorine. That's like one of my favorite things. If I'm walking through a neighborhood and I just have that waft of chlorine, or like that bleach smell, chef's kiss. I love that, you know. Yeah, Talk to Me. I also love the idyllic, the idea that you have an entire day off and there's nothing to do except just be in bed all day.
Yeah.
With someone you care about, and you're just like
the
eating snacks and just, it's really important for me to like not do anything for an entire day. Simon, you were just talking about how you have so many different jobs and you have all these things and you're going from one thing to the next. It's really difficult to find that one singular day where you do nothing.
Yes.
And even if
I managed to once in a while.
Yeah.
I like
Even if
that
like everything is chattering in the back of your mind, like I have to do this, I have to do that. I think it's really important to me to just not do any of those things.
Yes,
And
me
like,
too.
you can do it tomorrow, but like in this one day, in this one moment, all you can do is eat chocolate and cherries in the morning, you know, and spend time with the person you care about. Maybe put your pants on, but only if that means like answering the door to get delivery pizza.
Absolutely.
You know, like, that's it.
That song is relatable content to me. I love that song.
It's a skill in itself to do nothing.
So although these are distinct vignettes, for me, the sequencing works really well because, for example, it's after the idea of visiting the swimming pool is shared in Make Out Lately that we find ourselves in the song Chlorine Drifts. And by that point, making out is a memory, whereas the previous song which planted the seed about the swimming pool is called Make Out Lately. And there, what we wanted to do is make out.
Yeah.
So is that intentional? Because or perhaps, or not just in terms of the sequencing? Because I feel like the songs set us up for the next song in interesting ways, often by contrast.
I mean, I write songs all the time, and the album is only 7 songs, and all of these songs were written over the course of the last 10 years or so. So I purposely curated them to be thematically similar, whether or not they're in like some sort of timeline. They are not. With Make Out Lately, that one I was just getting over like a really difficult relationship. It was like really traumatic, and for about 5 or 6 months I was like, I will never fall in love again. I don't want to date. I don't want to see anybody or anything. And then like a light switch, I woke up one morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I can love again. I think I can see somebody, or like I have space in my heart to actually be vulnerable and try it again. And that's why I was like giddy, and therefore the song, you know, has its disco flavor, because I was like, I think I'm healed. I think I'm over it, you know.
Yes.
That's what I was pumped about. That was the invigoration behind Make Out Lately.
Yeah, disco flavor. It does have a disco flavor. I love that about it. In the live band, last time I saw the live band, there was Orion, Monica, Skylar, and Elliot. That's the live band?
Yes, with one addition. His name is Ivor Hillman.
Oh.
I went to school with him when I was like 18 or so, which is many years ago. Like 3 years ago. I'm very young.
Me too.
I haven't. Yeah, exactly. You're a very svelte-looking 25-year-old. I haven't worked with him in a very long time, and now I'm pulling him back into the ropes, having him in the band. So,
excellent.
Correct. It's Monica, Orion, Elliot, Skylar, and now Ivor.
What an excellent ensemble.
Yeah.
On the record, are you playing all the instruments on the record?
Yes, pretty much. Again, because a collection of songs and recordings have been worked on over the last 10 years, it's funny, it's hard for me to recall like who played what and where. I'm pretty sure that Elliot Wilder played the drums on some of it. Jared Isabella, he played drums on some of it. I played drums on some of it. I can't even recall who did what. Other than the drums, there's a saxophonist who plays.
The sax is an important component, I think, of the sound.
I know. That person killed it. This is my current gripe. I recorded the saxophone with him. He was like a hired gun from like 3 years ago. His first name is Jens, and I've been trying to contact all the people who helped me book that. And it's like, what's his last name? I'm working on the liner notes. Like, just tell me his last name. It's something Scandinavian, and no one knows. So when I'm writing the liner notes right now, and it has to be printed, I just had to say Jens from Los Angeles. I don't know his last name. But yeah, the saxophone, I did not play that. I played the keys, the bass, the guitar, vibraphone, wrote all the lyrics, the harmony, all that. Mixed it, recorded all of it, you know.
I really like the moment at the end of the first track when it goes into halftime. And and in the music video, that's when the sun is coming up, and Rupert is looking much more serene than at other times. It struck me that there is a lot of light and sunshine in all of the tracks apart from the opening track. So, for example, there's references to sun cream, putting the sun cream on, and we're talking in bed all day rather than at nighttime. So even though perhaps there isn't an intentional narrative, and these are distinct vignettes, to me it's interesting that the record sets out expressing this weariness of light. And then we encounter Rupert donning his sun cream and being in the light. In the bio, it's highlighted that whereas the centering wound of Young Sunset, the previous solo record, Rupert Angeleyes, drew on romantic affliction, Angeleyes finds the raw materials of his pop pathos undergirding the box spring of pillow talk to be the trials of adulthood. So this emphasis on the trials of adulthood, I wonder if you can expand a little bit on that.
I think I spent all of my 20s growing up too fast and being constantly trying to be as mature as I possibly could be. And then with Young Sunset, I was reckoning with the end of a 7-year-long relationship and being an adult. And then now trying to understand how to be immature, how to be superficial.
Or playful.
Or playful, yes. And so I spent, age 27 to 32, roughly, trying to figure out how to be a young person, And so I guess Young Sunset was more about me trying to navigate how to be mature, and Pillow Talk is more about me reckoning with being immature. And so, yeah, as far as like trials of adulthood go, it goes back and forth. I felt like more like an adult when I was younger, and less like an adult the older I get.
This came up in the interview with Adam.
Oh, really?
So that's another interesting
synchronicity.
Unintentional, happy accident. The idea of, he was also, you'll see in the interview, he was also sharing about, and as was I, feeling more connected with our inner child, essentially, in our older age.
I had to, 8 or 9 years ago, I had to move from Minneapolis to Los Angeles. I had to do that thing. I had to travel changed my life, you know. And I had to change my life again when I moved to New Orleans. Just try to explore and see what the world is before, you know, I'm 60 years old and it's too late, you know.
In Palm Springs, the lyric is, Palm Springs makes me feel like I'm someone.
Oh, yeah.
How do Minneapolis, New Orleans, LA make you feel? How does your relationship with each of those places affect your sense of self in a way that is pertinent to the record?
Well, that line, Palm Springs makes me feel like I'm someone, that's from touring with different bands, and you don't get paid much, but you get a free hotel. So I'm like, I feel special because I'm in a hotel room. That's where that line comes from. I think that the place that one lives in absolutely dictates somebody's personality. Just being inundated with different cultures, it changes you. And I purposely moved to different places to see what different person I'd become within different surroundings. Yeah, I was a different person in Los Angeles. I was a different person in New Orleans. I was actually just thinking about it as I drove over here. I have certain memories of New Orleans and friends that I made and things I did. It almost seems like a fever dream. Like, did I really do that?
Right.
I'm pretty sure I did, but it's so disparate from who I am now because I live in a different city that it doesn't feel real.
Totally.
If that makes any sense.
It does make sense as someone who's lived on various different
many
spots across
different
the planet.
different
I feel
different
the same.
chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you can relate absolutely.
Yeah, my period of 18 months of being stuck in England with just my parents.
Yes.
Difficult to relate to.
That's right.
The new form of my Minneapolis life again.
Yeah.
Now.
It's like changing who you are.
Absolutely. Postcard, which is the closing track, kind of pertains to what we're talking about here because we have Rupert's lover addressing Rupert in a postcard, and then vice versa. And then in the chorus, I spend my time driving, writing postcards to you, sweet baby. You're coming to me, I can't wait to wrap my long arms around you because no distance can keep us apart. So there we have the two characters set apart by distance, and yet distance cannot set them apart. And the song reminds me of the Air record after Moon Safari a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like Wonder Milky Bitch. Like that song. Like,
I don't know that song. I love Air. I also love Serge Gainsbourg. I've always wanted to have just talking for an entire track. We play that one live currently, and it is so difficult for me to like not sing and just find the pacing of the word to say as you say it. The slower you talk, the more meaningful it is. You know, it's like trying to practice that.
Meaningfully tasty Negronis.
Yeah. I mean, just before the pandemic, I had a one-way ticket to France to be with somebody, and I was just going to be there. And about like a week before, like the lockdown or something.
Yeah.
I was going to leave. I didn't know. Or no, sorry, a week after the lockdown. It was like that point in time where I was like, should I just hop on the plane and go, or do I stay in the United States? That was a tricky question, you know.
Yeah. And what did you do?
What's that?
And did you stay?
I did stay. For better or worse, like many things, there's never like a right or wrong answer, just one answer or the other. So I ended up staying. Because of that, I don't talk to that person very often anymore. I think because the pandemic spread us apart. But yeah, her name is Barbara. She's the one who actually did the spoken part in French. And she also designed the album art, actually, for the album.
Ooh. As I think I already said, I really like how this album artwork includes lots of motifs that are throughout. We have a swimming pool, we have a couple of cocktails, we have pillows on the bed. It kind of serves as a vignette for all of the songs in a way which is interesting. Did you provide instruction for what you wanted to be in the album artwork?
That's fascinating and interesting. Palm Springs was with Barbara. I spent that time.
Yeah.
She was visiting me, and we went out to Palm Springs, and it was like the last night before she had to fly back. So there was like a mixture of like joy and vacation, but also dread that like tomorrow you have to leave, you know, which was like sad and also glorious at the same time. I love the combination of, you know, happy and sad. And so, yeah, she was there for that, and she knew that whole story because she was there. And therefore, when she was drawing the album art, she was drawing her recollection of Palm Springs at that hotel. So, if anything, the album art is a painting of her time in Palm Springs.
Lovely, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, it's funny how it works together.
My favorite phrase in the bio is noirish seductiveness. And one of the most noirishly seductive moments, I think, is that halftime segment at the end of In the Light. And I'm really interested in what's happening both when you compose the song and decide to have it end in that way, and in the music video, where Rupert is presented quite differently and is, even within the song there, kind of encountering, greeting the sun.
Yeah.
So what's happening there?
From a production standpoint, if you use Pro Tools, I think if you hit spacebar and the command button simultaneously, it'll play the track in halftime. So I'm clickety-clacking away, and I accidentally do that, and then suddenly it goes in halftime, and I'm like, oh.
That sounds good.
That's great, you know. So I just tacked down the end like that, and then had the saxophonist play it over, and also pumped it through an old Tascam tape machine, the 4-track, the big blue clunky ones.
Yeah, I used to have one of those.
I love those things. I use them all the time. That was the impetus for doing the halftime at the end. As far as the music video direction goes, my friend Jimmy Whispers very thoughtfully, I can't remember what it's called, a treatment, I think, where you just go scene by scene, you know, and so he was like, okay, so you go this way and you do this thing, and then you like find some jewels, a crystal in a parking lot, and then you're just meditating, right? Is that the idea? And it's like, okay, yes, Jimmy, you know, my art is in your hands. Whatever you think, give him the reins, you know. I didn't have any real foresight into what the music video would be. I was just, I'm your puppet, I'm your lump of clay. I'll do whatever you want to do because I trust you.
Yeah, well, it works out very well, and I think it's fitting that although what Rupert is communicating in the song is that he doesn't want the lights, it fits with the rest of the record, that character has the experience of, oh, actually, the light's not so bad.
I think it's really fascinating, like with Jimmy Whispers directing the video with my friend who wrote the bio, you know, with you interviewing me right now. Like, I make the recording, I make the music, this is what it is, and then I have like all these interpretations of what it is that I made, and I don't know how to respond in like, it belongs to like somebody else, or it's like not my thing anymore. I was thinking about that a lot as well. Like, once this album is released, on April 20th with Larry Wish double album release, like it's out of my hands. Like, it doesn't belong to me anymore. Like, it's mine now. It's my little baby. But once it's out in the world, anyone can interpret it any way that they want to. They can like laugh to it. They can associate it with like a terrible memory of like driving to the doctor's office or something, or it could be their, you know, first time they held hands, whatever memory they want to fixate on this music, you know, it belongs to them. It almost doesn't matter what my experiences are for the lyrics or like what I wrote it from.
Totally, yeah. I
can explain, you know, word for word where I came from doing it.
How you arrived at this.
But it doesn't matter. I can say it as explicit as I want, and people are gonna think it's something completely different, you know.
And is that something that you like? Do you have positive feelings about it? Is it like a gift? Do you like the fact that it's a gift that people can inhabit in whatever
I
way
think
they choose?
so. I'm so close to letting this thing go. I just have to like let it go.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, and I've done as much as I can do. I've made it the best thing I can make it be. There's no more time for like fidgeting or tweaking or rewriting different words.
Mm-hmm.
I have 350 expletive records in my closet right now. It's physically made. It's going to be out in the world, and that's all I can do. You know? It's a weird feeling.
I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very great ensemble of musicians in the Rupert Angeleyes Minneapolis band.
Yes.
Are you planning on staying put in Minneapolis for a bit? Will we be seeing?
Oh yes, I hope
this
so.
band, like,
Yeah.
will be active in Minneapolis for some time.
Yeah, I'm here for the indefinite future.
Excellent.
I'm going back to school at MCTC.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop whoop! Shout out to MCTC.
They got a shout out in both this and Larry Wish.
Oh yeah,
interview. too.
MCTC needs that love. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing that, and yeah, I've been practicing with the band for the last year or so. I'm hoping to do more shows throughout the summer, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm just getting back into the circuit. Like I've been gone for so long.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny, I am envious of Monica LaPlante because we were going through our calendars together, and she's like, well, I'm playing this show, I'm playing this show, I'm playing this other show, I'm playing, you know.
Well, and
this
Orion
thing.
too.
And Orion
Therefore-
too, and it's like, I want to play shows, I want to do it.
Yeah.
I got like 3 shows booked, but they're playing like, you know, between the two of them, 3 or 4 shows a month, you know.
Because they're in each other's bands, and they're also in Christy Costello's band. And
oh my gosh,
it goes
yes.
up. Yeah.
It's quite the collective there.
It really is.
But that's inspiring too. Orion, he plays in the band Extraterrestrials. He just had an album release. Christy Costello just released an album as well. So it's nice to have camaraderie with other people who are going through the same thing.
Yeah, and the album artwork the show event artwork for that Christy Costello show was Sarah Wolf, who also did the artwork.
That's correct.
For this one.
Yeah, and she also plays in Orion's band as well.
Oh yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like this event artwork. So 2 questions related to the event. How and when did you and Adam, aka Larry, discover this ought to be a double record release? And then how did the 2 of you work with Sarah to create this event?
I believe Skylar, who plays in Controversial New Skinny Pill,
Yep.
and is the bass player.
Yep.
We were talking at band practice, and he's like, in the Skylar manner, like, oh, you should talk to Larry Wish. He's having an album released right now. You should do that. I was like, all right.
That is a Skylar manner.
I know. I love it. I love that, man.
Me too.
And so he recommended that, you know, I talk to Adam.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm so bad at like booking and promoting things that it seemed easier if I just piggyback on what he's already doing. Like, that's less work for me. Or he's doing something that I am less skilled at. I'd rather hole up in a basement and check the phasing on my microphones and play the drum fill for the 13th time. That's my modus operandi, you know. So that's the how I ended up having the same release with Larry.
Through Skylar. And who
Skylar,
you were
who
coming
worked
to...
so hard. You know Skylar, right?
Yes, Skylar's great. And you were coming to the VFW to see
Controversial New Skinny
Skinny
Pill.
Pill the other day, the same day that my originally planned interview with Adam, Larry, was rescheduled because of Adam's food poisoning. Full story in the other interview.
That's right.
I like that the idea of doing a record release together was planted by Skylar.
I know.
And then you come to see Skylar perform, and then that gives me the opportunity to invite you to
that's an
come and do
interesting
that.
correlation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Skylar. He's the longest running member of Rupert Angeleyes. There's been about like 20 or so.
Yeah, Orion's been in it for a while.
Yep, he's got some seniority as well.
Yeah.
But I remember this is slightly tangential. Forgive me. I remember just trying to make the band, a live band, happen around when like Young Sunset was coming out 10 years ago, and my mom is always like full of ideas. Like, what if you just like rent a vending machine, and then in that vending machine you have like your CDs, or like just like ideas. I'm like, okay, Mom, thank you. Or she's like, what if you just go to Guitar Center and put up a flyer that says, looking for a bass player wanted? You know, it's like, I'm not gonna do that, Mom. I finally took her advice and I went online and I was like, can anyone play the bass for my band? And then boom, Skylar was like the first person. So I just met him from my mom's advice to just randomly ask the universe, the world, you know, for somebody. And it was Skylar.
Thanks, Kyle's mom.
I know. Thanks, Kyle's mom. Always, always. But yeah, he's developed so much as an artist. I'm so proud of him. I remember he was doing like solo acts all the time, you know, with backing tracks and everything like that. And I was gone for a long time, and I first saw like his full band almost a year ago, last June. And it had been years since I've seen it, and I was just blown away at how much it's been matured and perfected and polished. And I was like, I'm so proud of that person.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm yet to do a Skylar interview.
Oh, that'd be good.
It will be good. We'll definitely.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
This is the last episode we're filming for this season, and that's the first episode I'm planning for next season. So.
Yeah.
And then the event artwork, I think it.
Oh yes, you're touching on that, Sarah Wolf.
How did you and Adam work with Sarah to land on this? Because I feel like it does somehow kind of capture the vibe of both records and some of the aesthetic features of both album covers. So I'm curious.
Oh, yes.
How it came to be.
I don't know if there's much of a story there. I know that Sarah did the flyer work for the Extraterrestrials. And actually she helped with some of the other artwork for various projects of mine. And I am a Luddite when it comes to like Photoshop and anything image related. And I love being able to delegate that to somebody else, being like, please do this for me. I don't know how to do it. Thankfully, Sarah just did it. And it's like, that looks good. I like that. I gotta prepare for this interview with Simon right now.
The only song that we haven't talked about is Ready or Not. And the ethos of that one is doing what one likes if it makes one feel alive.
Yeah, that's the only song that I co-wrote on the album with Joy Michaels.
Oh, yes. So the previous record, of course, was 10 songs.
We had a split together.
Yeah, 6 Rupert Angeleyes songs and 4 Joey Michaels songs.
Yeah. And I talked to Leo all the time. He was trying to help me figure out the lyrics for that one. He really wanted it to be like, okay, like you're out on the dance floor and you have to like, you're dancing with somebody, but you can't like go up and grind on them. You have to like have a swagger where they come up to you or something, which is just like a weird, like, I think he was thinking like 90s, like pop sensibility, you know? But that just felt so funny, like having like some type of swagger and goofiness, or not goofiness, some type of confidence, like I'm such a jerk that you are attracted to me, you know?
Right.
So I was trying to write it from the perspective of like that. I'm a jerk, you come to me, you know?
Why are you involved with a boy like me?
Exactly,
Rupert asks.
Yeah, you gotta play the part of the antagonist sometimes from a lyrical standpoint.
Don't mistake me, you can take me, it's that simple.
Yeah, baby, if you want it bad enough, it's like, that line makes me feel uncomfortable. But I think with a lot of creativity, or a lot of like learning things, if it feels uncomfortable, then go with it, you know?
Right.
The majority of the lyrics I wrote to be superficial, to not be, to be like plastic or throwaway lyrics. Like it's meant to not have any depth to it.
Right.
Which is difficult and uncomfortable for me because I always just want to like talk about the feels and cry and hug, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of
But just
references
have
to that
to
in the other songs.
pretend it, yeah. And sometimes that involves me playing, the antagonist, the villain, or like writing myself as a jerk to convey that superficial thing. And in that sense, like I'm a character, you know, that's not who I am, but I am like writing from that perspective, you know.
So even though feeling no shame is easier said than done, Rupert as the character...
I feel all the shame all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Rupert is and it's the song where we are, it's the song establishes that Rupert's going to be gone by the morning, so...
Yep, exactly.
It's like, let's live as if.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is interesting that there's, the song then becomes like a vignette or a space where, in a kind of pleasant way, also, Rupert kind of invites us, let's say the people that are at the Eagles on April 20th, to be with Rupert for the duration of that song or these songs. I find it fascinating, like this, the use of the persona of Rupert Angeleyes, particularly in the live context, actually, where it's you and it's also Rupert. So do you have any final thoughts about the use of the persona, perhaps especially in live performance?
I'm thinking of like, I've been cultivating the habit or the ritual of before every show, like everything is sound checked, you know, we're about to go on stage in like 30 seconds. Like a sports team, I huddle everyone together, and lately I say, okay, doesn't matter, you know, what's going on with your life outside of your life. It doesn't matter who you're dating. It doesn't matter who's like out in the stage or the audience. It doesn't matter. You have to use the bathroom or not. It doesn't matter if you're feeling tired. Whatever it is, for the next 30 minutes, all that exists is playing the parts, and however you can just be completely in that flow state, in that moment. That's all that matters, you know. And, that's when I become Rupert Angeleyes, when I am an essence of myself, and nothing else exists, and I can't even hear anything else, or I don't think of anything else but myself and what the music is and the parts that we played. And I don't really know what that is. I can channel it, but I don't know what it is, you know. And I guess Rupert Angeleyes is the name I call it when I am not Kyle anymore. I am this other thing that I can't describe. I have glimpses of it, and I try and jot down when I am in that state, but like, it's something that's difficult to name. Therefore, it's called Rupert Angeleyes. That's as close as I can get. But I keep trying, you know? It's an endless pursuit to find that thing.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked. You did a good job of communicating like what it's like to like intentionally create that space with the band where Rupert has the reins for the duration of the set.
Yep, that's exactly right. All I'm asking is for like 30 minutes. You belong to me, and you belong on the stage, and it's just there, present, you know. And
Well, the flow state,
you know, to express that.
You talked about being in the flow state, and I think the audience can also participate in that, whether through dancing, and I was talking with Paul the sound guy at the VFW, who plays in Mortaholics and other bands. And he was talking. I was reading a book about flow states last night.
Yeah.
Synchronicity again,
There you go.
and about flow states and synchronicity. And he was saying the experience of mixing really adept band. That's when he experiences flow
the same thing.
the most.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a rich aspect of human life. And the thesis actually in the book called Living in Flow is that synchronicity occurs when one is living in flow. And synchronicities perhaps such as what happened with, I don't know, and you with this.
I know. Flow state is fascinating. Like, I know I'm hitting it if someone's like, hey, Kyle, what are you doing? And I can't even talk. Or if I'm like saying something, I'm just muttering because, like, or like even like my vision, like I won't even visually
Sense of time
recognize, you know?
shifts, yeah.
Yes, and time shifts where what feels like 15 minutes will be 3 hours or something.
Right. And
it's so weird. I love that feeling though.
On the one hand, it might come across as like selfish to be like, I don't care what you're feeling, put that aside for a moment. On the other hand, I think that these are the conditions in your experience that enable you and the band to get into this flow state, and it is a valuable state. I think often I get in the flow state when I'm like making the connections, preparing for these interviews, paying attention to the art. And I think that there is something that it's difficult to talk about, but that is a real thing of value in like providing the opportunity for people to participate in some way in that. And I think that's part of what maybe is going on when Rupert Angeleyes takes the reins.
I think so, yeah.
So, but we have to find out when we go to Eagles on April 20th.
April 20th, Shrimp Olympics products and Larry Wish album release, along with yours truly, Rupert Angeleyes.
There we go. I'll be there, you'll be there, Adam will be there. We'll experience some flow and synchronicity. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah, you're very welcome indeed. And it's been Back to the City. This is the final episode that we are filming for this particular season. Probably not the final episode in the season, though. So we'll be back at 10 p.m. Next Thursday, MCN6. You can watch it on Roku and stream it, mcn6.org. All of the episodes are also archived on the Back to the City YouTube. So there's hundreds and hundreds, including a few with Kyle, that you can watch if you want to explore the archives. Thank you, viewers, and we'll be back next week.